There is a story about a person who is described as Ahmad, but that's not his name. And he's a doctoral student. He's doing a PhD in engineering in a university in London. And he came here on a Chevening scholarship. That's the thing that Boris Johnson went on about. It's a thing, actually, that Priti Patel went on about. He came here in 2021 following the fall of Kabul, because he was studying in Afghanistan. He was helping the British Army with electrical engineering, effectively, constructing energy transmission lines. He was working very hard, putting his life in danger for us, and at the same time working on an MSc, which he continued in the UK after Kabul fell. And he's been traipsing around from one hotel to another for the last few years with his wife and two children. He got a distinction in his MSc, and he started a PhD. And now he's been told by the Home Office that his family has to move from London to Leeds. This ends his academic future. He's been writing a doctoral thesis, apparently, on how to make use of existing infrastructure after a conflict situation. In other words, very much drawing on the experience that he would have had in Afghanistan, in Kabul. But because he is moving, he will become ineligible for the warm welcome scholarship that was given to him, that was arranged for him by the British Council, or through the British Council, in September. He will also lose his place at the university, because under the university rules he has to spend 1 day a week on campus. It would be impossible for him to travel down from Leeds once a week simply to fulfil that basic rule. And should he defer his degree, he loses his scholarship. He's not the only person to be penalised by the Home Office's dilatory approach to accommodation. 150 children must now immediately leave the schools where they've already settled and started studying in London. And they're not yet even guaranteed places in education, in schools, in Wetherby, up north. Ahmad, or whatever his real name is moving for the fourth time. It's a knee-jerk approach to stability and to finding refugees accommodation. And it's only there because the Home Office is incapable of doing its job over 3 years. The Home Office is on some sort of almighty go slow, presumably set in motion by Mrs. May's hostile environment so many years ago. And as I say, this is somebody who put his life on the line for us, and we are treating him like disposable waste. And the Home Office, in response to his pleas, has said, well, he didn't need to take up the university place. He didn't need to accept that university place, as he knew his situation was temporary, as he knew his accommodation was insecure. He's now due to be moved very shortly, or he may already have moved. And given the fact that a riot took place a few days ago outside a government-sponsored hotel, a hotel that the government had taken over, that the Home Office had taken over to house people like Ahmad, the Home Office's claim that, quote, hotel accommodation offers secure, safe and clean accommodation, it seems a bit unfounded, doesn't it? I would be frightened out of my mind if a mob was waving placards immediately outside my house and telling me to leave. And suggesting that I was some sort of sexual predator. No, I'm completing my PhD thesis. Or not. This, I think, gives the lie to the whole nonsense that Suella Braverman is presiding over. She is an appalling leader. How dare we treat people who have given their lives, who have put their lives on the line for us, how dare we treat these people like disposable dirt. I'm ashamed, deeply ashamed. The story was put out in the Guardian a few days ago, and I'm afraid I missed it then. So I'm talking about it now. Maybe you've already heard this story. Maybe you're already appalled as I am. But we have to do something. We have to write to Suella Braverman and tell her that this simply isn't acceptable. In the same way, I mean, there are so many things that fall in her lap that she isn't doing. She needs to get her finger out or just leave.